This is Healing at Soul Level with your host, Shawna Williams. Shawna is here to provide various forms of healing that are non-invasive, that promote relaxation and aid the body in naturally healing itself by using ancient healing techniques that have been around for centuries. So please welcome the host of Healing at Soul Level, Shawna Williams.
Good morning. Welcome to Healing at Soul Level. I'm your host, Shawna Williams. Numerology is the study of numbers and how it's an integral part of the universe. These numbers can show your character, purpose in life, what motivates you, and where your talents may lie. Today's guest, Valerie McKenzie, knows all about this subject. Valerie is a deep intuitive empath and a crystal child. She is passionate about all things holistic, including apothecary and herbal remedies. Good morning, Valerie. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Good morning, Shawna. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing wonderful. It's a beautiful day, and I'm excited to talk about things I'm passionate about, and I'm really grateful to be able to share this with you and all your listeners. So, again, thank you very much for having me.
Oh, I'm so glad you're on the show. So tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Okay. Well, I'm a mother of three. I have a wonderful partner. I reside in Texas, and I'm just really excited to be so well versed on some things that I'm very passionate about. In general, I'm a person who seeks a lot of answers. I've always been inquisitive. Always wanted to know the why and the how of things work, no matter what that might be. And my journey has definitely been one full of love and passion. And the things that I've learned along my way have kind of spiraled me into other things. I think I learned, I started to question, why we're here, and certain synchronicities that have been present throughout my whole life, and that's kind of what led me down my numerology path.
So that's how you got into numerology, just being curious about the universe and how things work?
Very much so. And with numerology, I see a lot of repetitive numbers and things that kind of come into my awareness that I always questioned, but as a child, I never really had those answers. And, once I grew up and kind of started to think on my own and kind of reach out for those types of answers, numerology hit me like a book right in the face, literally. And it really kind of opened a lot of doors and answered so many questions for me on so many different levels. So it's really been an amazing tool for understanding and kind of looking for answers, no matter what questions you might have. So that's kind of how I got started with the numerology.
Was it a class, or were you just looking up information? I mean, how did you actually find numerology?
Well, the first time I just happened to overhear a conversation between two people about a lady who saw repetitive numbers. And, when something sparks your ear, so to speak, I was eavesdropping more or less, and the lady was saying, she was stating that there's, if there's something that you see repetitive like that with numbers and those types of things, that there's a meaning behind that. And a lot of times it's a spiritual guide coming to you to give you a message, or it's a confirmation a lot of times. And so, there'd been a lot of repetitive numbers that I'd seen. And as a child, I'd always look at the clock. When I'd go to sleep, I'd try and lull myself to sleep. I had a real busy mind as a child, so the clock really brought me a lot of comfort because I would try to make other numbers out of the numbers and just different things. And then I noticed that I would always look at the clock at the same time, or I would wake up at the same time. And so when I overheard that conversation, when I was eavesdropping, I really went over there and introduced myself and just said, listen, I know this is crazy, but I just really would like to hear what you have to say about this, because this is something that's very prevalent in my life. And she shared with me that if there's things that you're seeing, look for those answers. And she mentioned numerology very briefly, and that word stuck in my head. And I started to research, and I grabbed some books and, went to the library. This was back before the internet. And so I just read a bunch on it and made a bunch of notes. And then all the questions that I had from my childhood and the repetitive numbers that I saw, I looked them up, and it was starting to make things a lot clearer for me, and it just escalated from there.
Oh, okay. Now we're going to watch it with the before the internet comment, because I can say the same thing, but that shows my age.
I know. I was going to say maybe that was a little compelling.
No, it's perfectly fine. Yeah, I've heard a little bit about numerology. I just wasn't sure. I thought it was just what's your birthday? Here's your information. I didn't know that it could get, so detailed.
Yes, it really does. So it's a practical method of understanding your own deeper nature. It can tell you about talents, your goals, opportunities that are coming to you, for years ahead, or even in the short term, like a couple of weeks, or if you have something coming up. It really offers a lot of insight and guidance to things that you're experiencing or that you're going to experience. I mean, it can give you insight on, it gives you insight on so many things. You can ask, you can inquire about career, romance, prosperity. Believe it or not, it's gaining a lot of traction in today's world because we're, a little more progressive than we were, 20, 15 years ago. And
very true.
Even big businesses, even, corporations and places like that, they often use numerology to, make business decisions or, kind of project forecasting and that kind of stuff.
Hello, welcome back to Healing at Soul Level, and I'm your host, Shawna Williams. I'm sorry about that. We had just a little bit of technical difficulties, but we're back and we are still on the show live with Valerie. Valerie was talking about numerology. Don't forget, if you call in, you can get a free reading. You just need to call 866-451-1451. Valerie, you still there?
Yes, ma'am, I am here.
Okay. So we were talking about how numerology worked and everything. I'm sorry. And so, sorry, how do you get the numbers for somebody whenever you're doing, is numerology do you have to know exactly what they need at the time? Do they have to give you an intention? I want to know about this character or this talent, or does it just all come together?
Well, there's many different methods you can use and different numbers that you can pull. There are birth date numbers. You can pull a life path number. I pull as many things as, we do rational thought numbers, personal year numbers.
What's a rational thought number?
A rational thought number just kind of gives some insight as to how your thought process works. And it's really interesting. It pulls it based off the letters of your name. Rational thought numbers reveal what can probably best be described as your way of thinking. Are you practical? Are you a methodical thinker? Are you a dreamer? These are all things that it'll give you insight into. And for you, Shawna, I know we spoke briefly before. I did pull your rational thought number, and if you'd like, I can share it with you just to kind of give you some insight as to what that entails.
Sure.
Okay, so I think I jumped a little bit ahead. Let me explain how the numbers correlate with the letters of your name.
Okay.
So in numerology, the letters of the alphabet correspond with the same number. So, for instance, an A would be a 1, a B would be a 2, a C would be a 3, and so on. However, in numerology, they only use the first 9 basic numbers. So once you got to the 9th letter of the alphabet, which would be an I, the cycle would repeat itself. So a J would be a number 1. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes, perfect sense.
Okay, good. And then for your rational thought numbers, based on your letters of your first name, your rational thought number would be a 9. So in our interpretation with the numerology, Shawna, you're pretty much aware of the expectations of others, whether it be intuitive or a feeling, which would also be intuition, but you're very aware of other people's expectations. And based on what I'm gathering, sometimes you hold off on expressing your opinion about certain situations until everyone's had their say.
Oh, yeah.
And then you you like to weigh in on, you know, where everybody else is, and then you like to give your input. And what I'm channeling is that once everyone's had their say as far as rational thought, then you like to sometimes point out mistakes, which is not necessarily a negative thing, but it's just, you know, things that you see would be an error, or maybe some things that were overlooked. A lot of your success, Shawna, is solving problems and finding answers. And you do that through the process of elimination. At least that's what I'm gathering. And it's funny because I'm very much that way too.
You're right on the mark.
You like, oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah. And like I said, it's more of a process of an elimination more than it is a matter of like stringing together logical answers. You just know, okay, this is not working. This is not working. So this would be what is working, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Good. And then if it's okay, I pulled your, give me 1 second here. I'm trying to get my notes together.
It's okay.
Well, let's see. Your life path number I pulled for you. Bear with me 1 second, Shawna. Would you like to talk about your life path, or do you have any other questions for me?
No, I think that what you said, it was pretty much. I've actually had somebody tell me that wasn't doing numbers. They were doing some other reading for me, and they said the same thing. And I've noticed that in my life. You know,
that's very interesting.
Yeah, they've actually said it.
And it's very true. Like, numerology ties in with so many other methods of gaining insights and looking into your inner being and trying to gain answers. You know, I think as humans, you know, we're very inquisitive, some more than others. And, you know, it really, really kind of helps you gain that guidance where otherwise we would be lost. You know, I know sometimes I have situations in my life where I'm just like, gosh, you know, I know the answer's out there, but where is it? And a lot of times I turn to numerology to kind of help, you know, even if it doesn't give me my exact answer, it definitely puts me on the right path to, you know, gain the understanding that I'm looking for, kind of look for that advice to make sure I'm, you know, rolling down the correct street, if that makes sense. And while we're discussing it, Shawna, your life path number is very important in numerology. It's the most important number, and it's based off the date of your birth. And that's the moment when the curtain kind of goes up on your life, so to speak. And it can be compared to like the plot of a play, or, you know, it gives us a broad outline of opportunities and challenges and lessons that we encounter during our time here, you know, in this lifetime. And so a life path number is the sum of the month of your birth plus the day of your birth plus the year of your birth. So I'm trying to think of a simple way to explain this without a visual. So, for example, if your birthday was, you know, December 25th of 1964, December is the 12th month, so you would combine the 1 and the 2, and that makes a 3. The 25th day would be a 2 and a 5, and that makes a 7. And then 1964, for example, you would add the 1 plus the 9 plus the 6 plus the 4. That gives you 20. And because it's a double number, you need to reduce it. So you'll add the 2 to the 0, which gives you a 2. So you have a 3, a 7, and a 2. You arrive at a 12. You add the 1 and the 2, and that gives you a 3. I know that seems like a lot to take in, and it's really hard without a visual, but I hope you're following me thus far.
No, I understood that perfectly.
Okay, good. For you, Shawna, I did yours based off your date of birth that you gave to me prior and did some channeling. And I was really excited and surprised that your life path number is the same as me and my partner's. My partner and I have the same life path number.
That's funny. But you know what? We're going to stop. We're going to stop and take a quick break, and then we'll get back and learn more about my life path number. Hi, I'm your host, Shawna Williams. You're listening to Healing at Soul Level, and today's guest is Valerie McKenzie. She's talking about numerology, and she was just telling me my life path number was a number 3, which is the same as hers and her partner. So what else were you saying about that, Valerie?
Okay, so your life path number, Shawna, is actually a 7. I believe the 3 was just the example of the birth date that I was giving.
That's right.
I'm sorry if I wasn't clear on that, but you're definitely a 7, and you are correct. My partner and I are also number 7s. And if I may, I'll tell you a little bit about a life path 7 number in case any of the listeners are also a 7. They can gain a lot from this as well. Based on that, like I said, the birth date number is the most important in numerology because it really gives you some insight as to who you are and, you know, what you're all about. And as a 7 life path number, you're a searcher and a seeker of the truth. And I know I mentioned that a little bit earlier about myself, and I know, Shawna, you're the same way. You have a clear and compelling sense of yourself as a spiritual being, and your goal is devoted to investigations into the unknown and to finding answers to the mysteries of life. And it's really interesting to me that I'm exactly the same way. You know, that explains why we connect on the level that we do. I also see, and I'm feeling that you're very well equipped to handle this task. You possess a very fine mind. I see you as an analytical thinker. You have great concentration methods and theoretical insight, I feel. I feel like you really enjoy some research and, you know, putting together pieces of like intellectual puzzles, so to speak. And you have highly creative insight. I'm getting that really strongly, a lot of creative insight and practical solutions to problems. And that's really great. That's a very rare trait. So I think that's really great. I'm also seeing that the numbers are pointing to you enjoy solitude. You prefer to work alone to a degree. You like to take time to contemplate your ideas, somewhat of a lone wolf, if you will. And I'm the same way. You enjoy your space and privacy, but you also enjoy, you know, your loved ones and that. But you do have a very, very good passion and, you know, good infinite space for your privacy and that kind of stuff. And when people violate, it causes some irritation there. When your life is very balanced and you feel like you're in your element, you're very charming. Attractive is a word that keeps coming into my brain, and attractive isn't always in the physical. It's also like a magnetic, charming, you know, people are drawn to you. You've got a lot of wit and knowledge. Yes, very charismatic. But you also have very distinct limits. I see that you're
I'm sorry, when you said that, yeah.
And that's good. That's a good thing. You know, a lot of people don't know boundaries and limitations. And, you know, a strong 7 life path number, they're keenly aware, you know, of when they're able to give their energy freely. And then again, when they need to come off stage and kind of be out of that spotlight, so to speak. And I feel like you associate your peace, your inner peace, with the unobtrusive privacy of your world, meaning, you know, you very much have your sacred space and your bubble, and you make that well known. It's a very strong energetic field that you put out there, and that's very good. You know, it's a lot of people aren't able to hold that space, if that makes sense, and you're very good at that. What else do we have here? You especially watch out for selfishness and egocentricity. Thinkers like you and me, Shawna, and my partner, life path number 7 numbers, whoever that might entail. Sometimes, you know, we think, you know, this is my world and I'm the center of my universe, but we're also very aware of that. And our social contacts give us a perspective on ourselves and our lives. If we isolate too much, we kind of get a little narrow and we tend to shut off, but we're aware of that and we know when it's time for us to kind of draw that curtain down and then back up. So that's very good. Some of the challenges I would say for life path 7 numbers, we need to make sure we're maintaining our independence without feeling isolated.
Wow.
Yes.
Bingo.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I like the confirmation. Yeah, it really it helps my channeling and that stuff. So you definitely hold fast to the unique view of your world. At the same time, you're very open to others and to the knowledge that they have to offer. Again, we're seekers. So, you know, once we know that people have the knowledge, we're very inquisitive and we like to ask lots of questions.
Yes.
You've got great abilities to learn. We're great analyzers, seeking out life's important questions. And Life Path 7 numbers have great potential for enormous growth and success for what they see in their lives. Middle age, once we reach middle age, again, we're not going to be too telling on where we are in that journey. But once we meet middle age, whether we're there or we're getting there, we radiate refinement and wisdom. Pythagoras, who was alive about 2,500 years ago, he's often called the father of numerology. That's what we refer to him as. And he loved the number 7 as a life path for people for its great spiritual potential. And I think that says a lot as to what you're into and all of your talents, and me as well. We have a lot of spiritual potential, and that's really good. We also often find success and satisfaction in business, science, religion in some instances, which can cover a broad path of things, not just, Baptist and all that stuff. And invention, the occult, and anything related to research. So again, it's a very inquisitive, very much a seeker number. So that's what encompasses a life path number 7.
Wow, that's a lot. And like you said, it crosses over a lot into other things that I know about myself. Like I was telling you that I read the Akashic Records, and I was made by the creative substance is divine love. And with that, I have the same thing as you said, where I cannot be isolated for too long because I'm made up of love. That's my creator substance. So yeah, all of that, it's crosses across each other, because who you are is who you are,
Correct.
You just have all these different ways to find out little bits and pieces of who you are, because we are complicated too.
Very much. We're very intricate beings. And yeah, that's one of the reasons, or one of the main reasons why I love this so much, is it really kind of, once you read it, you're like, yep. And it's not that always we didn't know these things about ourselves. It's just that confirmation. I mean, as human beings and being how we're made up, these are things that we naturally inquire about. So I think it's very interesting.
Okay, good. Well, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, and we will be right back. Hello, welcome back to Healing at Soul Level. I'm your host, Shawna Williams, and we're broadcasting live from BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. Today's guest is Valerie McKenzie, and she knows her thing when it comes to numerology. She's been telling me about my life path number and how I think, and she's been on the money. This lady knows what she's talking about. We were asking for callers to call in. I believe we have somebody who's called in that wants a reading.
Awesome.
Who do we have on the line?
Hello.
Hello? Hey.
Hello.
Who is this?
Hi. Jeniece.
I'm sorry, who is this?
This is Jeniece Williams.
Jeniece. Hey, Jeniece. Did you want to have something called in for your numerology? You want to get your numerology read?
Yeah.
Okay. Valerie, I'm going to let you take
Welcome. No problem.
Thank you. How are you?
Hi, I'm wonderful. Thanks so much for calling in. I'm super excited. Okay, so I can pull a life path number for you if you'd like. I would just need your full birth date.
Okay. My full birthday is April 6th, 1980.
So that would be 4/6 of 1980. Bear with me one second here.
So, Jeniece, have you ever had your numbers read before?
No, I haven't. So this is really interesting and fun to me.
Were you able to listen earlier? Did you hear her talk about my numbers?
I just kind of tuned in. I wasn't able to listen to the full.
Well, I'm tell you, this lady, she knows what she's talking about. She was like pinning me down. I was like, well, hold up now. Everybody don't need to know who I am.
All right. Okay. So what I've got for you, your life path number is a 1. And number 1s, if you look at the number itself, it's a pillar. It represents a lot of strength, a lot of perseverance, and you're a born leader. You're insistent on the right to make up your own mind is what I'm gathering. And you demand freedom of thought and action. Freedom is very important to you. From what I'm channeling, you've got a lot of drive and determination. I see a lot of that. You don't tend to let anyone stand in your way once you're committed to a goal. It looks like in your life you assume responsibility to be a protector, a provider to those that you love. Am I on the right path?
Yes.
Okay, good. I definitely see you as, like I said, the number 1 represents a pillar. I see that you demand a lot of respect, a lot of attention. I see a little irritation and even sometimes some domineering when important things don't necessarily go your way. I see that you're somebody who feels the need to command important undertakings, and you resist supportive roles. So you like to be the number 1 and not necessarily a supportive role. You seek the foreground and a lot of the limelight. I see you as an exceptionally creative and original person. You definitely possess a touch of the unusual. Your approach to problems seems to be unique. You have a lot of courage to wander from the beaten path. And I also see that sometimes you can be a little impatient with your shortcomings and those of others as well. And I definitely relate to that because I am definitely the same way. I will say you got to guard against the overzealous behaviors, the anger, the aggressiveness. These are things you definitely need to get under control, or sometimes you could become excessively domineering, sometimes a little vindictive sometimes, and I also tend to sway down that path sometimes, so I can definitely relate to that as well. I definitely see you as somebody that seems to be left best when you're left with your own devices. Ideally, you'd be great to own your own business in construction of some sort, not necessarily like hard hat construction, but constructing of items or crafts. You would definitely be a wonderful boss to yourself. Like you would be a wonderful own your own, everything is yours. I would say hold fast to your life's dream, whether you're living your life's dream or it's something you're moving towards. I would definitely say you definitely need to hold fast to that. Hold your determination, and this is going to become a very realistic and realization for you. Sometimes you're so driven, I feel like it stresses you out sometimes, overly stressed from being so driven. Be careful about be careful about the foods that you eat. And definitely maintain some sort of exercise that you enjoy. Competition sports are often good for you, for somebody that's super driven. That's a real healthy outlet for you as a person and your drive. I would say particularly something involving running or swimming of some sort. Definitely don't let pride or overconfidence is, I think, a better word than pride. Your overconfidence, don't let it rule you. Just remember that you have amazing talents and your abilities are a gift from our higher source, and that should promote gratitude and humility rather than the pride or conceit sometimes. So make sure that overconfidence is coming from the heart space. More often than not, life path number 1s, you achieve much in life. As long as that drive and creativity and originality and pioneering spirit are fully employed, I feel like your talents are varied and your potential for success is considerable. That's a lot of what I'm feeling. I'm envious. I wish I was as driven, like I'm just getting this really powerful feeling, from you. It's a great feeling. That's great. I feel like you might be attracted to business or even military, maybe some sort of governmental institution. It's that leadership role that you possess, and that gives you the possibility to do anything that you want. And make sure you maintain that drive, because big things are coming for you if you haven't already received them.
Wow.
Okay. That's awesome.
Awesome.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
I
I love feedback.
I think that's, pretty much me. I love the drive and everything. And that was funny that you said that about your own business and, something of construction, because I did have a business. And, I still do it from time to time. And I was making candles and, putting all that stuff together.
Yeah.
Right on the
that's something
nose.
you're really passionate about, I would say definitely hold fast to that, because that's bringing you a lot of joy, whether it's on a surface level or a subconscious level. And I would definitely say that hang on to that, because that's something that you're going to be really good at. I know life sometimes gets the best of us and we forget to do that, but for you, hang on to that, and I see big things coming for you in that regard. You'd make an amazing boss.
Well, thank you for calling in, Jeniece. I hope this gave you a lot of insight into your path. And we do need to take a break real quick, so we will be right back. Welcome back to Healing at Soul Level, and I'm your host, Shawna Williams. We're talking with Valerie McKenzie about numerology, and she just gave me my life path number, which was incredible. That was incredible reading. We had a caller, Jeniece Williams, with hers, and now we are talking to Mia, right? Is that correct? Mia Kogan.
Mia Kogan, yes.
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 Okay, and so Valerie's going to give her a reading as well. I'm going to let you take over here, Valerie.
Oh, thank you, Shawna. And me, thank you so much for calling in. I'm super excited. We spoke briefly before the break, and I do have your birth date. I did some short calculations, and I see that you're a life path number 4. And that's great. Life path number 4 is a practical. I feel that you're a very down-to-earth person, a lot of strong ideas about right and wrong, justice and injustice. Mia, I see, from what I'm gathering, you seem to be an orderly and organized person. I see a lot of systematic, very controlled, and you're decisive and methodical. And what I'm gathering is, that's good. Yeah, definitely some confirmations. That'd be good. It seems like you like to employ step-by-step rational approaches to problem solving. And once you've committed to something, I don't see you as somebody that likes to give up very easily.
That's correct.
Good, good. I also see that you're not one for some get-rich-quick schemes. You prefer the hard work and the long hours. While building a business or a career, I see you as someone who likes to you seek to establish a solid foundation. You like to have that groundwork. Good, yeah. I see you as someone who likes to have that groundwork laid out. Let's see. Good. Let me see. I see you as someone also, I know I say this, you're also someone who has a great potential for success, but you like to put out the effort. You don't, you like to see the put out and then the return. You like to overcome limitations that you encounter. I see you as someone who is very justice oriented. Honesty is very sacred to you. You're very reliable. You're very dependable. You're a cornerstone maybe in your community, your family, like the matriarch. You're not an idealist. I don't see you as an idealist. You're very willing to work for a better world, but in a very realistic way. You can be rigid about your ideas and sometimes maybe a little too quick to judge, your fellow man on what they're doing. Not necessarily a knock, but it's just who you are. You're very loyal to those that you love, and you work very well with others. I feel that very strongly. You're very teamwork oriented and very loyal to what it is that you love. It is important that while being part of a team that you have your own responsibilities. So you like to have, a group task as well as your own stuff very well defined. You seem to perform better when your responsibilities are not overlapping with those of others. You like to have your own responsibilities aside from the responsibilities of others is what I'm gathering.
Correct.
I see that you're good. I see that your potential for success is particularly good in areas like banking, accounting, management, organization, maybe agriculture, science, or maybe the legal field, since justice is such a huge strong point for you. Life path number 4, such as yourself, you got to be careful not to be bossy or rude. You possess the rare discipline and perseverance, and not everyone can keep up with you. And I think that's a very amazing and rare quality to have, because you lead the charge, and that's a great quality to possess. You handle money very carefully. You like the security of a nest egg. I see you as someone who has your little nest egg, your little, squirrel pouches in your cheeks put away. Your love of work often leads you into career early in life. I see you as someone who knew what you wanted early in life, and because you're methodical in nature, you went for that. I also see you as someone who can be overly cautious when changes are necessary. Sometimes this might cause you to miss opportunities that present themselves. So I want to make sure you cultivate flexibility into your character. I know that's hard for you, but try to remain a little more flexible, a little less rigid, and that's going to suit you very well. I don't know. We've never met before, so I don't know that you're married, but I would say that you're well suited for marriage. And you would, if you're not a parent, you would become a responsible and a very loving parent. If you are, then you have those qualities. I will say, though, that anything that violates that profound sense of order that you carry, that such as a separation or a divorce, it can be very shattering for you. So if this is something that you experience, just make sure you stay true to yourself and don't let those negative thoughts, if that's something that possesses in your life, it's something that's important. It's coming in pretty strong. So if that's not something you've been through and it is something that may be on the horizon, just be careful about that. I think if that flexibility comes into play, that might take a different path. You're courageous.
There's something
You're definitely
through that. Yeah,
okay, good. Okay, good, yeah. It said that might have been a difficult thing, but your own definition of justice is what pushed you to that point, and it was definitely the best move you could have made. So there's that. You're very courageous.
Wow.
You're a true survivor. I see that in you. And I am too. That's good. And you're a builder and the foundation of any enterprise. So anything that you have your hands in, anything that you've been a part of, you are a strong foundation for that. And that's an amazing quality. I really think that that's great. Your hard work and practical values, they're going to pay off in the long run, and they're going to provide you with the rewards that you seek and deserve. So such a pillar, such a strong survivor, and I think that's really great points along your life path here.
Oh, great. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Wow.
And anything involving money, girl, you go after it because you've got the stronghold for it. You just stuff that in those cheeks and you keep on rolling.
Well, thank you. I will say I'm on a good path right now, definitely.
Good.
Yeah.
I see that also. Yeah. I definitely see that also.
Wow. Sounds like she read you, Miss Mia.
Yeah, she did. Very, very, very well.
Good.
That's a good thing.
Keep that survivor quality and just remember to remain flexible. I keep getting this. Just remember to remain flexible, and things will come to you a lot more easily without those rigid thoughts. So just keep that in mind in all endeavors, pretty much.
Okay.
All right.
Definitely. I sure will.
Well, thank you for calling in, Mia.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you. Have a good day, y'all.
Okay, you too.
Well.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Man,
great.
Sounds like to me you knocked 3 of them out the park.
That's good. Yeah. The channeling's strong today, and it's good. Some people are more receptive than others, and in this atmosphere with people calling in, I think they're receptive to the readings, and it really helps me channel. So that's really good. I'm super happy.
That is great. We're going to go ahead and stop for a few minutes and take a commercial break. We'll be right back. Hello, welcome back to Healing at Soul Level. I'm your host, Shawna Williams. We've been talking with Valerie McKenzie about numerology, and she has been hitting it out of the park. She has been reading. She read me, she read 2 callers, and she's just gave us a wealth of information on numerology. But that's not the only thing she does. So she's going to give us some more information about other things that she practices. Okay,
Thank you, Shawna. Yeah. So like I said, these things all tie into so many different modalities for, seeking answers and kind of looking for some guidance. And I know in my life, something that's really brought me a lot of joy and a lot of insight is crystals. You mentioned I'm a crystal child, and without going into too much detail, it's somebody that's born between certain dates, and they really have affinity for crystals like amethyst and rose quartz and tiger's eye, and the list goes on. And I've been a collector of these items. Even when I was a small child, I would pick these things up, or I would find them places, and those were things I wanted to buy. And I didn't really understand back then why I was so drawn to them. But for me, crystals bring me a lot of strength. They bring a lot of courage. They can be really good for kind of clearing your energies or bringing certain energies into your auric field and kind of helping you with guidance and things like that. So I've been a collector of those. I'm a strong believer in their abilities. They've been around, as long as the Earth's been here, and they're very, very powerful. And I think that collecting of those things has really helped me channel some of my gifts and my ancient abilities that I've just, been recollecting over the years. And crystals are a very powerful tool, I feel, as well. A lot of times when I'm channeling, I'll get certain ones out. I also have a pendulum, a tiger's eye pendulum that I scry with and I balance chakras with. And it's so amazing to think that all of these things have been here this whole time, and not everybody knows about them. So it's really good, and these types of forums to be able to introduce them to people that maybe don't know a lot about them. And if you're drawn to like certain stones, really pay attention to that, because there's messages there, and there's, you need whatever that stone has to offer for whatever reason. I know for me, I'm currently wearing a lightning strike crystal quartz around my neck that kind of helps me with my channeling and helps keep me grounded, because I'm a floaty person and also a Moldavite. So it's very neat.
Okay, well, I'd like to know, how does anybody get in contact with you if they'd want to have a reading or something?
Sure. My Facebook is just my name, Valerie McKenzie, just like it's spelled. There's a double image of my face in case you're looking for it. And if you're looking for me on Instagram, I'm definitely more Instagram friendly. It's at Calkenzie, and it's CalKenzie. If anybody would like a reading or would like to inquire more, I'd be happy to help. And Shawna, again, thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm most grateful.
Well, thank you for sharing your knowledge on numerology. I'm so glad you've been on the show. Thank you. I'd like for y'all to tune in next week, because my guest is going to be Angelica McCauley, and she's going to be doing oracle readings. It's going to be a great show. For more information on this episode or to book Reiki services and Akashic Record readings with me, visit my website at indigo-qi.com. If you have a healing modality that you'd like to share and want to be a guest on my show, email me at shawna@indigo-qi.com. You've been listening to Healing at Soul Level, and I'm your host, Shawna Williams. Thank you for tuning in. Love and light.
This has been Healing at Soul Level with host Shawna Williams. Listen each week as Shawna will help you discover the different healing modalities and how to use them in your everyday life, right here on Shawna Williams' Healing at Soul Level.